Why do avoidants shut down exactly when things finally start to feel real? Why do they pull away, disconnect, freeze, or just vanish, even after showing so much interest, connection, and emotional warmth? Well, here's the cold, hard truth. Avoidants don't shut down because of you. They shut down because closeness triggers something old, something stored deep inside them long before you ever came into the picture. In this video, I'm going to break down the psychology behind their shutdown, their deep-seated fear of intimacy, and the hidden mechanisms that make distance feel so much safer to them than love. This is about clarity, not comfort. So let's start with the avoidance core wound. Avoidant attachment is usually built in childhood. It's not necessarily from abuse or chaos, but most often from emotional neglect. Growing up, the avoidant learned 3 very specific lessons. First, that emotions were not safe to express. Second, that needing other people almost always led to disappointment. And third, that being completely self-reliant was the only way to survive. As an adult, this becomes their internal blueprint, a voice that says, if I depend on someone emotionally, I lose control. Love requires vulnerability. But avoidants were trained from a very young age to shut that vulnerability down completely. It's a survival mechanism that's become their default setting. This brings us to why connection feels so dangerous to them. To you, closeness feels comforting, warm, and secure. But to them, that same closeness feels like a trap. Why the difference? Because emotional intimacy activates the exact wound they've been trying to avoid since they were a child. They don't actually fear you. They fear what intimacy brings up inside them. They fear abandonment. They fear not being enough. They fear emotional exposure, losing their independence, and being judged or smothered. The closer you get, the louder their internal alarm bells start ringing. This is precisely why connection triggers a shutdown. Now, let's talk about the moment things get serious. Avoidants can usually handle the beginning of a relationship just fine. The flirting, the chase, the fun surface-level connection, that's all manageable. I feel like I'm losing myself. I'm suffocating. Faced with this internal chaos, they resort to the only strategy they've ever known and trusted: Creating distance, it's not a calculated move to hurt you. It's a desperate attempt to calm their own internal storm. So, why does distance feel safer to them? Distance works for them because it immediately lowers the emotional pressure. It gives them room to breathe. It reduces that feeling of vulnerability and gives them back the illusion of control. Most importantly, it stops their internal panic. For an avoidant, the equation is simple. Distance equals safety. Closeness equals a threat. This is the core paradox of the avoidant attachment style. They genuinely want connection, but they can't tolerate what that connection activates inside of them. Here's the twist most people don't expect. They often return after the shutdown. After they've pulled away, taken their distance, and shut down emotionally, their system starts to calm down. The perceived threat fades away. The panic subsides. The emotional pressure resets to zero. And then, suddenly, they miss you. They start to remember the good things. So, they reach out. They come back. But it's crucial to understand this isn't because they've changed or healed. It's because the distance you gave them made the connection feel safe again, but only temporarily. This cycle of getting close, shutting down, creating distance, and then returning will repeat over and over until they truly face their own emotional patterns. So, what must you not do when they shut down? The natural response for most people is to chase, to explain your feelings, to push for answers, to demand clarity, or to beg for emotional connection. All of these behaviors, while understandable, will only make them shut down even harder. Why? Because avoidants interpret any kind of pressure as danger. The moment you try to fix the disconnection, their walls just go up higher. So, what actually works? The only response that is effective with an avoidant is calm distance. It means practicing emotional neutrality, applying no pressure, and focusing on yourself. When you can regulate your own emotions instead of reacting to their withdrawal, they feel safer. When you stop chasing them, they stop running. When you hold your own boundaries without punishing them for needing space, their nervous system begins to relax. When you give them space without anger or resentment, they slowly start to feel comfortable returning. This isn't about manipulating them. It's about not activating their panic response. To wrap this up, remember this: avoidants don't shut down because of a lack of interest or a lack of love for you. They shut down because intimacy activates old wounds they never learned how to hold or heal. The more you can understand this, the less you'll take their distance personally. It's about seeing the pattern for what it is: true clarity over temporary comfort. Thanks for watching.